Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we'll explore what Billy Butcher's Parasite is. One of the most intriguing and multifaceted characters in The Boys is, without a doubt, Billy Butcher. From his first appearance in the Amazon Prime video series and in Garth Ennis' comic, Butcher has been the fierce and determined leader in the fight against corrupt superheroes. However, in the most recent season, an unexpected twist redefines his fate. A symbiotic parasite begins inhabiting his body, bringing with it an unprecedented power. This mysterious entity is revealed in a shocking way, rescuing Butcher from almost certain death at the hands of Ezekiel, the superhero, by eliminating him in seconds with a brutality that leaves Butcher speechless. That's why, in this video, we'll dive into the origin of this creature, its transformation process, how it's affecting the protagonist's mind, the amazing powers it grants him, and the possible limitations it might bring. In the third season, we saw Butcher begin using the temporary compound V, an experimental formula from Vought International that grants superhuman abilities for 24 hours. However, this substance is far from perfected, and those who consume it experience severe side effects, such as vomiting, migraines, bleeding, and fainting. Additionally, if used more than twice, it can be fatal, causing irreversible internal damage that Vought's doctors still don't fully understand. At the end of that season, Butcher receives devastating news. He has developed aggressive cancer in his brain and other organs, and the doctors give him between 12 and 18 months to live. Aware of his limited life expectancy and determined to eliminate his main enemy, Homelander, Butcher makes an extreme decision to use the remaining original Compound V, the same one that returned Kimiko's powers after her encounter with Soldier Boy. Although he had always rejected the idea of becoming a super, Butcher decides to break his principles to extend his life. However, this gamble seems to backfire. Not only does he not get cured, but he feels as if his death is accelerating. From the early episodes of the new season, it's clear that something has changed in him. He looks tired, pale, and is constantly affected by strange discomforts. Under his skin, you can see how a creature moves through his head, face, and back. Although he doesn't seem to feel pain initially, there are moments when his discomfort is evident, such as a fall in the shower that reveals the influence of this internal entity. Despite all of this, Butcher doesn't understand what's happening. In episode 5, the lab of Dr. Samir is revealed, where he works on an enhanced version of a virus designed to eliminate superheroes. There, several lab animals were accidentally exposed to the temporary Compound V, causing grotesque mutations. A rabbit, in particular, was exposed to the serum for an extended period. Butcher frees it without knowing what will happen, but later finds it dead, with deformed tentacles emerging from its body. Terrified, he crushes the parasite that emerged from the corpse. This discovery suggests that the temporary Compound V not only affects the body, but could also be causing the creation of these symbiotic entities. My hypothesis is that the temporary V causes tumors in those who use it repeatedly, but it's not enough by itself to generate a parasite. It's when the body, already deteriorated by these tumors, receives the original Compound V that these cellular masses come to life and transform into a symbiotic creature. This also explains the case of the rabbit. After being exposed to the temporary V, it likely drank water contaminated with the original V, accelerating the parasite's gestation process inside it. If we connect this with the shocking scene where Billy Butcher sees tentacles similar to those of a symbiote emerge from his own body, we can deduce that this being was born as a direct consequence of using Compound V, a desperate attempt to repair the damage caused by a catastrophic event. Instead of healing, the substance activated the cancerous cells within him and, in turn, gave life to a parasite that now inhabits his body. Since its arrival, Butcher experiences intense hallucinations in which he encounters the figure of his deceased wife, who becomes a sort of moral guide, urging him to make ethical decisions even when they go against his darkest impulses. But Becca isn't the only one who visits his mind. Joe Kessler, an old acquaintance of Butcher, also manifests, reminding him of his past mistakes, such as losing leadership of his team and the wasted opportunity to end Homelander. Kessler, in his hallucinatory form, constantly reminds him of the threat posed by superheroes and urges him to make drastic decisions, regardless of the moral cost. At a crucial point, Kessler proposes kidnapping Ryan, Homelander's son, to take him to a superhuman containment facility. But when Butcher decides not to follow that path, Kessler reprimands him for his lack of determination. The visions of Kessler and Becca repeat throughout the season, and as the plot progresses, Butcher begins to lose the line between reality and hallucination. This symbiotic entity, which originally took the form of his wife, Becca, eventually adopts the form of Kessler, a representation of the colder, more calculating part of his subconscious. The truth is revealed when Butcher discovers that the Joe Kessler speaking to him is not real. It is a manifestation of his mind, fueled by the parasite now inhabiting his body. This being, a mixture of Butcher's memories, traumas, and darkest desires, becomes a sort of unscrupulous alter ego. The symbiote, knowing every corner of Butcher's psyche, drives him to act ruthlessly, never hesitating to use any means necessary to achieve his goals. In the end, the connection between Butcher and the symbiote reaches a point of no return when he accepts the pact with Kessler, sealing his fate and starting a series of actions that lead him to make increasingly extreme decisions. With the power of the symbiote, Butcher transforms into one of the most terrifying entities, capable of facing even the strongest superhumans, like Victoria Newman, who falls victim to the tentacles that emerge from his body. Now, let's explore the powers this symbiote grants to Butcher. Compound V generates a conscious tumor inside him, a creature that reflects his darkest desires. The tentacles emerging from his torso are an extension of this being, capable of tearing apart superhumans with ease. They are deadly weapons covered with tiny jaws, able to tear through flesh and bone with impressive efficiency. Additionally, this symbiote provides near-instant healing and rejuvenation, restoring Butcher's health and granting him superhuman endurance. During a confrontation, a burst of gunfire has no effect on him, and his body seems virtually invulnerable. However, this power is not absolute. The anti-supe virus represents a real threat to his survival, and the most dangerous thing of all. If Butcher disobeys the symbiote and breaks his connection with it, he will lose all his powers and be exposed to death. The question is, how far will Butcher go to eradicate Homelander and the corrupt superheroes? The answer seems to be in his hands, now more than ever, but at a very high price. And with this, we conclude everything we know so far about the symbiotic parasite living inside Billy Butcher. This mysterious being is as disturbing as it is fascinating, transforming Butcher into something more than just a human. The brutality with which this being acts, as we saw when it eliminated Ezekiel in a matter of seconds, leaves us with many questions. What else is this parasite willing to do to ensure the survival of its host? How much has Billy Butcher really changed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of this symbiote now inhabiting Butcher's body? Do you believe the power it grants him is something that could truly save him? Or will it ultimately be his downfall? And finally, what do you think of the influence this entity has on Butcher's morals and decisions? Share your answers and thoughts on this dark and mysterious being from the Boys universe. As always, thanks for watching the video. Your support means a lot to me. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to share and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my new videos.